the outskirts of rainy Seattle, amidst the dense Olympic forests, stood Emily, a young American woman, before an imposing old house known as the Haunted House. Emily inherited it from her grandmother, Elizabeth, who was notorious in the town for her eccentricity and her interest in black magic. Emily never believed in ghost stories and considered her grandmother just a strange woman. However, after Elizabeth's death under suspicious circumstances, Emily found herself compelled to spend one night in the haunted house before selling it to a real estate company that planned to turn it into a tourist resort. As the sun set, Emily began to feel a strange presence in the house. Whispers came from closed rooms, shadows moved in the corners, and a strong smell of sulfur filled the air, despite the absence of any source. Emily tried to ignore it, but as night fell, things got worse. The power suddenly went out, and a violent thunderstorm shook the foundations of the house. Emily searched for her phone to call for help, but discovered there was no signal. She was completely isolated. While searching for candles in one of the drawers, Emily found an old leather-bound journal. She opened the journal and began to read what was written in shaky handwriting. It was her grandmother Elizabeth's diary, and the last entry was terrifying. "It's here. The evil spirit has returned. I can't stop it." Emily felt a real sense of horror. Her grandmother wasn't just a strange woman. She was trying to protect something, or perhaps someone, from an ancient evil that inhabited this house. Suddenly, Emily heard a noise coming from the upper floor. It sounded like a heavy metal chain being dragged across a wooden floor. Emily hesitated at first, but her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She grabbed a flashlight and slowly climbed the stairs, heading towards the source of the sound. Emily reached the end of the hallway and found a tightly closed door. The sound was coming from behind the door. She tried to open it, but it was locked. She stepped back and kicked the door hard. The lock broke, and Emily entered the room. The room was dark and empty, except for a large mirror covered with a white sheet. Emily approached the mirror and reached out to lift the sheet. At that moment, Emily felt a cold hand grab her arm. She turned around quickly and saw what made her scream in terror. Standing behind her was a hideous creature with a disfigured face and burning eyes. Its body was covered in burns, and the smell of death emanated from it. Emily tried to escape, but the creature was faster. It grabbed her tightly and pulled her towards the mirror. Emily looked at her reflection and saw the creature's face merging with hers, its eyes becoming her own. Emily screamed at the top of her lungs and tried to resist, but to no avail. She felt an evil energy seeping into her body and a complete dominance taking over her mind. The next morning, the police arrived at the haunted house after receiving a report from a neighbor about hearing screams the previous night. They found the house empty with no sign of Emily. But they found something else. They found Elizabeth's diary open to the last page, and written in Emily's handwriting were the words, "It has become a part of me. Now I am it, and we are coming for you." The haunted house was closed once again, becoming a local legend told to children to warn them against approaching it. As for Emily, she disappeared from existence, leaving behind a terrifying mystery and a question that echoed throughout the town. Who or what now inhabited the haunted house?